All right, welcome to my lecture on synthesis. This is going to be pretty short and sweet because I have a couple of video clips for you on YouTube that are linked in with this lecture so that you can watch those because I think they do a really good job at explaining what synthesis is. So synthesis is really important to use in your paper. It's actually a conversation between you and the other authors, the quote unquote authorities on the topic, and you being able to take that information and kind of mingle that with your thoughts and your ideas. If you can imagine having a conversation with individuals around a table, and these other individuals are the experts, and they have all these facts and all these statistics and all this data. You're the one who's making the connections in between these pieces of information and kind of giving us explanation and elaboration. Again, if you really want more in-depth on the synthesis, I have two videos. That's what's linked here. We have what is synthesis and how does synthesis work. So click into those videos and watch those. And then what does it mean to synthesize information? After you've watched those two videos, really consider that. And what does it look like to have your information adequately synthesized in your research paper or in your cause and effect paper or in any paper that you're writing? Did you know you can actually do a personal narrative type? Well, maybe not a personal narrative, but a narrative style with a research paper and with the concepts of synthesis, where you're telling this intricate, detailed story about an event or a person, and you're creating these rich details, but you're mixing it with the facts of their life. And so that's a very interesting modality to consider how synthesis can break the mold when it comes to writing. You don't have to be stuck in, quote unquote, academia and academic writing. You can use synthesis anywhere in any type of writing. So what does it look like? And how do you think synthesis will work in your own paper? Well, it looks like you giving little bits of information about your idea, your thesis, supporting it, explaining it. More bits and pieces about your stance and your paper, facts to support it, and more elaboration on your part to explain how that supports it. And just kind of continuing to roll like that. That's a basics for synthesis. And what might you need to do to ensure that your paper has more of your voice as opposed to mostly facts or information from your sources? Well, again, that would be your bits and pieces. Maybe you paraphrase instead of quote. Maybe you summarize instead of quote. And then elaboration. And that'll help you cut back on it feeling as if your sources are taking over the conversation. Because remember, you are the star. And your paper needs your written voice, not 74% sources. What happened to you there? You're no longer the headliner in your own concert. You're now one of the backup dancers. Don't do that to yourself. Make sure that you are adequately synthesizing so that you are the spotlight. Your ideas are taking that nice big headliner position. And so the basics of an outline for synthesizing, and it doesn't matter what type of a paper you're doing, this does work well with any paper, would be, your main idea, support, further information if needed, further explanation if needed. Maybe you only have one support per paragraph with a lot of explanation, however it looks for you. Maybe you take this support and combine it with this support and explain how those two work together to further your ideas. And you do need that furthering of ideas, that elaboration, that explanation, that you. And then you would repeat as needed for each of your main points to help you plan and include everything. So take a look at this, see if that's something you can apply to the specific paper that you're doing. And for those of you who are maybe watching and you're not in my class and you just need that little piece, I'm going to hover so you can see what that YouTube video link is. You can pause the video and hover so you can see what that YouTube link is, and pause the video if you need to, just so you can watch those, because I thought they were very well done at explaining what synthesis is and how it works. And again, here's that basic outline. You can play around with it. Again, you can have support and explanation, maybe two supports together and then the explanation, maybe explanation that leads into support. So these are just basic constructs that you can absolutely play around with, because when we're given a construct in writing, you're meant to break the mold. That may be the formula you're given, but it doesn't mean it's the formula you have to stick to. So, do check out the other resources you've been given for whatever specific paper type you are doing, so that you have all the elements, what the basics of that particular type of paper are, and then start adding in those sources and make this construct your own. Writing should be yours, because it's your thoughts and it's your ideas. And that is the most exciting part about writing. Yes, you have to be able to back it up. Yes, you have to give us facts. Yes, you have to give us data. But through all of that, you have to give us you as well. So make sure you're in your paper. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side.